You did it. You're finished with high school or you just graduated college. Now is the time to move out and start living on your own. But how much is it going to cost? Can you afford to live on your own? How much do you need to make to live your ideal life? Any guesses? Now I know everyone's ideal is a little different. In this video, I will give an in-depth look at the average cost that a single person might expect living in a big city like Dallas, Texas. When you understand your expenses, then you know what kind of job you need to be able to make a living. So, how much do you need to make? Let's take a look. Welcome to the Adulting Academy, a channel made just for you to give you the tools and resources you need to face the working world, armed with knowledge, and you'll be prepared for anything. Don't miss any great videos. Subscribe to the Adulting Academy today and join our community. Everything is expensive. The last 4 years, we've seen record high inflation that has increased the cost of groceries by over 37%. Gas has gone up by over 30%, and eating out by another 30%, just to name a few. Can you believe that a new truck costs about 40% more than it did back in 2020? Now, those numbers are alarming, especially considering wages have not kept pace. Most yearly increases that we get are only 3%, so we're following behind. How can a young adult just getting started afford to live? Now let's take a look at the basic expenses that everyone will have if you are living on your own. Let's dig a little deeper to put some numbers on these basic expenses. Now for this calculation, we're not going to consider a car payment. Lucky you if you don't have one, don't do it. Your biggest expense is going to be housing, which is rent or mortgage. The average rent in Dallas is about $1,500 a month for a basic single apartment. Next up is utilities. This is going to be your electric bill, and it could range from $100 to as much as $250 or more depending on what the weather's like. Groceries. This is going to vary widely depending on how much you eat at home, but you're going to expect to spend about $400 a month on groceries. Now, your cell phone, once considered a luxury, now a necessity, is going to run you about $140 a month. Car insurance. If you have a car, this is a big variance here, but we're going to use $150 a month for car insurance. Gas or transportation could be public. This one could vary widely as well depending on how far you have to commute or if you use public transportation versus driving. But for this example, we're going to use about $150 a month. Now let's look at the extras that many consider not an extra. Internet. You're going to spend anywhere from $50 to over $100 for internet. Now I know you want fast internet for that gaming, so we're going to factor in at least $100. Eating out. You want to enjoy a meal with your friends and a drink after work, don't you? $150 at the minimum, up to $300 for this area. It adds up quickly. A few coffees in the morning, lunch during the day, a Friday night dinner, and it can go much higher really quick, so watch that category carefully. Gym membership. If your apartment doesn't have one, you're probably spending about $40 a month for gym fees. Do you like to go to the movies? Every now and then, or maybe even catch a show. Let's account for another $200 a month for that. Then you have those miscellaneous expenses like clothes and household goods like toilet paper and cleaning supplies. There goes another $100. And what about hobbies? I recommend going for a walk in the park instead because all those other hobbies like golf and stuff like that can add up really quick. Now, do you have a student loan? Don't forget to add it in there. That could be $200 for the next 30 years or more. And you need an emergency fund, so set aside another $100 a month for that. So let's add this all up and count the cost. First is housing, $1,500. Utilities, $175. Groceries, $400. Car insurance, $150. Cell phone, $140. Transportation, $150. Now that totals about $2,500 a month for just the basics, which is about $30,000 $180 a year for the basics, bare minimum. Now let's add in some of the extras that most of us have to have as well. The first is internet, like we said. And we're going to say we'll average that out to about $75 a month. Eating out, $225 a month. That gym membership we talked about, $40 a month. Entertainment, another $200 a month. And then those miscellaneous household fees, $100 a month. That equals another $640. Then you have your student loans, $200. Emergency fund, $100. There's another $300. Those extras have just added another $940 to those expenses. Now our grand total is now $3,455 a month, or $41,460 a year. So that's just the basics with a little bit of extras. So how much do you need to make per hour to make a living and pay your bills? At the bare minimum, just to cover expenses, you'll need to make almost $20 an hour to cover those expenses, assuming 40 hours a week. But wait, we forgot income taxes and health insurance. When you figure the taxes they will take out and insurance, you'll be paying about $6,263 for taxes, Social Security, Medicare, not even factoring in health insurance. So now you need to make at least $22.94 an hour, or about $47,723 a year, just for the basics and a few extras. Now, just for fun, let's factor in the health insurance. Average health insurance cost with high deductibles is going to be around $150 a month minimum to around $250 a month, kind of on the upper side. So now we need to add another $1,800 a year to how much you need to make to cover your basics expenses. And we're looking at almost $50,000 yearly income is required to live a basic ideal life. You would need a $24 an hour job to cover those basics with just a few extras on average. And I think most of us want more and spend more than average. When you choose a career, pay has to be a major factor in your decision making. If you're not where you want to be, then you need to go get those skills or the experience to get more income to be able to afford the lifestyle you want. Many times we never stop and add it all up. We don't take the time to budget, and we don't add up how much we're spending or in how much we make and see how that relates all together. You need to consider the lifestyle that you want to have when choosing a career. If you want to add expensive hobbies, a car payment, some vacations in there, you need to make even more than that $50,000 we just talked about. Don't let a job choose you. Take control of your future and choose the career of your dreams that will let you live the way you want. Now, the jobs are out there, but you have to put in the work to get the skills and the experience to get those jobs and careers. For help choosing a career path, take a look at these videos.